Hey everyone, I'm Travis Spivey, joined my son,
Jordan Spivey, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you're not missing on any of our awesome science videos. Also, scan the QR code in the top left corner of the screen to contact us and explore more of our awesome content and material.
In today's video, we will describe and explain the short-term effects of climate change. So let's do this.
Our learning target for today is, I can describe and explain the short-term effects of climate change. So what are short-term climate changes? Short-term climate changes are common. The largest and most important of these is the oscillation between El Nino and La Nina conditions. This cycle is called ENSO, which stands for El Nino Southern Oscillation. The ENSO drives changes in climate that are felt around the world about every 2 to 7 years. These variations can bring tremendous changes to living creatures. Humans are also affected. For example, erosion from storms may be very high some years. These changes in water temperature, winds, and currents affect climates worldwide. These changes usually last a year or two. Some places get more rain than normal. Other places get less. In many locations, the weather is more severe. This can have a huge impact on agriculture as well. Now let's dive even deeper by discussing El Nino short-term climate changes first.
El Nino means little boy in Spanish. South American fishermen first noticed periods of unusually warm water in the Pacific Ocean in the 1600s. The full name they used was El Nino de Navidad because El Nino typically peaks around December. During an El Nino, the Western Pacific Ocean is warmer than usual. This causes the trade winds to change direction. The winds blow from west to east instead of east to west, as you can see in the following diagram. Warm water is dragged back across the Pacific Ocean and piles up off the west coast of South America. With warm, low-density water at the surface, upwelling stops. Upwelling is when deep, cold, nutrient-rich water rises to the surface. Without upwelling, there are fewer nutrients and phytoplankton or sea plants populations decline. Since phytoplankton form the base of the food web in ocean environments just like plants and trees do on land, fish cannot find food and fish numbers decrease as well. All the animals that eat fish, including birds and humans, are affected by the decline in fish as well. During winter, the El Nino effect leads to wetter than usual conditions in the southern part of the United States and warmer and dry conditions in the north part of the United States. This has a large impact on Florida, which usually has more severe weather during an El Nino. Quick checks for understanding. How does El Nino affect climate change? How does El Nino impact organism populations? Pause the video and take about 3 minutes to write down your answers. You got this. Now let's take a look at the global impact of an El Nino by analyzing the following diagram. If you take a look, Europe is less affected by El Nino, but weather patterns are abnormal. South America is affected by drought. Indonesia and New Guinea are affected by drought and severe forest fires. Australia is affected by drought, forest fires, and crop failures. Stronger hurricanes occur in the Pacific Ocean during this time. The Southwest and California are affected by storms, flooding, and mudslides in the United States. There's flooding in Ecuador and northern Peru. Northern states and the Pacific Northwest become warmer and drier than usual. Fisheries are disrupted in these areas as a result. Fisheries are also disrupted in Chile. Gulf states become cool and wet, and more flooding occurs in these areas. There are fewer hurricanes in the Atlantic during this period. Southern Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay experience heavy rains. As you can tell, the global impact of El Nino affects almost everyone in the entire world. Quick check for understanding. Write down at least 3 global impacts as a result of El Nino.
Now let's talk about La Nina short-term climate changes. La Nina means little girl in Spanish. La Nina is also sometimes called El Viejo, Anti-El Nino, or simply a cold event. La Nina has the opposite effect of El Nino. During La Nina events, trade winds are even stronger than usual, pushing more warm water towards Asia. Off the west coast of the Americas, upwelling increases, bringing cold, nutrient-rich water to the surface. These cold waters in the Pacific push the jet stream northward. This tends to lead to drought in the southern U.S. and heavy rains and flooding in the Pacific Northwest and Canada. During a La Nina year, winter temperatures are warmer than normal in the south and colder than normal in the north. La Nina can also lead to a more severe hurricane season. During La Nina, waters off the Pacific coast are colder and contain more nutrients than usual. This environment supports more marine life and attracts more cold water species like squid and salmon to places like California coast. In other parts of the world, La Nina usually leads to increased rainfall in northeastern Brazil, Colombia, and other northern parts of South America, and is associated with rainfall deficiency in Uruguay and parts of Argentina. Drier than normal conditions are generally observed along coastal Ecuador and northwestern Peru. Quick question, what are the differences between El Nino and La Nina short-term climate changes? Pause the video and think, pair, and share your answers. You've got this.
And that's our video for today. Now let's test your knowledge to see how proficient you are with describing and explaining the short-term effects of climate change by taking our video quiz.
Use your electronic device to scan the QR code at the top right of the screen, or you can click the link in the description box below the video to take the quiz.
Remember, 80% or higher for proficiency. Record your results on your proficiency sheet, and if you don't get it the first time, you better keep going because it's not over until you win.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click that bell icon, and also scan the QR code to contact us and explore more of our awesome content and material.
Peace and have a positive, productive day.
I brought you into my home, bruh. You met my family. I put money up for you. The gloves on your hands like you asked.
That's enough, Jolie. You put the gloves on my hands? You must be punchy. Because if memory serves, you used to carry my gloves